Welcome to the Beyond Divorce Embracing Change podcast. My name is Michael Flores, and I will be your host while we explore the complex journey of divorce with empathy, insight, and practical knowledge. Whether you're contemplating separation, in a divorce, or looking for support post-divorce, our episodes provide expert guidance, stories, and strategies to help you through every step of the process. We are actual therapists, helping clients who sit on our couches every day through their difficulties of divorce. You are not alone. Join us as we delve in and find solutions that give you hope again. We're glad you're here.
This podcast is not intended to replace legal or personal help. This podcast is for informational purposes only.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Divorce, Embracing Change. Arrianna is joining me for this topic. I'm really excited to have you, Arrianna. I'll be honest, the last couple episodes, I don't think I did a really good introduction. I think this is probably the best introduction I've done. Oh. Yeah, and you got to be part of it. I probably should have done a better introduction on the other couple of podcasts that recently came out, but it's okay. This topic is really kind of unique, Arrianna, because I know that when you're engaging with kids in therapy, you incorporate a lot of this, or at least a little bit of this. And it's like you're wanting to gift the parents with the power of it and talk about the importance of it, especially those parents that are going through divorce and really just wanting to either facilitate a better relationship with their children or really secure their relationship with their children and how this can help do that. So we're talking about play. Is that right?
Yes. It's like we're being all cryptic.
Well, I'm not being cryptic. No, I'm just talking about the importance. Yeah, I'm trying to hit the importance. Absolutely. And now we're going to go, it is play. Yeah. So talking about play, and I mean, that's a weird way to say like play and divorce, but we're talking about
the power of play.
The power of play with your children as you all navigate divorce.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And really how to create connection through play. You're dealing with divorce, because there's such an opportunity there that I think sometimes with all of the, whether it is changing, finances or homes or schedules or structure, all those pieces that you're juggling as a parent, it can be difficult sometimes to find time to play, but it really is so crucial.
Yeah. What is it about play that is crucial? Maybe we can tell the listeners, like, this is what makes play a crucial thing for children.
Yeah, I think when I'm first meeting parents and asking what are their hopes and how are their kiddos showing up these days as they're navigating this divorce, the biggest piece that comes up is they just want their kids to be kids and to let the parents navigate the adult things.
Yeah, just want the kids to be kids and giving them permission to be children. I mean, we were talking earlier before we started the podcast about Chuck E. Cheese's slogan. Do you remember that one?
Where a kid can be a kid, or
yep.
Toys R Us, right? Like,
they had a slogan
inundated
too.
With all of these, you get the toy catalog at the holidays, and so
really, that. Just like the Target ad, and you like look through it, you like find
circle the toys that you.
I'm going to tell Santa about this one. Yeah,
exactly. But I think that's for a reason, right? Kids, and when I say play, I don't. When I say play and when I say kids, I don't mean just the littles. I don't mean just the 4 or 5-year-olds that are playing princess or cowboys. Play is really crucial for everyone at any age, I would say.
Correct. I think that kids their brains are expanding, and so they're probably using tons of imagination. And beyond imagination, they're trying to sometimes link things together, and they don't have the words for it.
Absolutely.
And so they can become expressive in the way that they engage and the way that they interact. One way for me to tell that my daughter's not doing well, or she's sick, or maybe starting to get sick, she'll stop dancing. Like, what she does is she loves, like, she'll just out of nowhere, just the house, just start like doing a dance. Like, I asked her one day, I said, you have music like playing in your mind all the time? Are you hearing music in your head? She was all the time, Dad. So when she stops doing that, like when she's kind of just almost what we would consider normally walking around, something's wrong, something's off, because her normal state is to be playful and dance in the kitchen and dance in the living room. And like, she'll just like, we're watching the Ranger game and she'll walk in and then she's like, she'll hit like, oh, home run, boom, 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 boom. And it's just doing a dance. So it's just like, yeah, kids are they're playful. And if you can tap into that world with them, I guess what we're saying is, if we tap into that world of playfulness with your kids, are you connecting with them?
Absolutely. We're building connection because play is really the how kids communicate, right? I don't know if how long it's been since you sat down with, like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and they've got their toys and they're telling the story. Now this one goes and they're going to ask for ice cream, and you see how they ask for the ice cream and you see the way that they order it. And really they're communicating about the world around them, the way that they're asking the questions or the way that they are having the little creatures or pretending that the clay is a person or a dragon or a princess, like that. They are communicating. They see their world.
Yeah, you just made me think of something. Kids nowadays like to watch other kids play. Like they'll watch YouTube videos of other kids play. Is that because they feel like they understand that world and that's how they communicate? Is that like their own language?
Michael, I haven't even given thought to virtual play and video games and everything.
I know, and see, that's what I'm saying. My brain does this all the time. It always trying to find like different connections. So I don't know. I just know that
maybe that is the evolution of it.
It might be.
And even so, if we take a second down that, I've seen those videos. I've seen the videos where kiddos or people are watching video gamers, and in terms of communication, that's where a lot of kids are seeing, the outbursts or the anger. Sometimes we're using curse words, or sometimes we're, for lack of a better word, crashing out, because that's what we see.
Right.
Sometimes these people, these videos, or even, other kiddos engaging, and that is how they communicate. So if I'm watching that, that is then how I learn to communicate, and maybe it does turn into me throwing a fit when you're trying to put me to bed, because that's what they do.
Exactly. Wow. Isn't that fun how we go down that?
But, and really, truly, in terms of communication and connection and everything, that is an opportunity for kiddos to, like, they don't have the words.
Right.
They don't know how to say, I miss you, or I'm sad that I'm having to go between houses, or I'm hungry, I haven't eaten anything, right? And so sometimes those are the ways in which that they're learning to play and building up that communication and finding
is there
to engage with you.
Is there a better way for parents to interpret what play might mean? Because my fear is that we can misinterpret. It's so subjective, right? So you can misinterpret what the play might mean. And I wonder if sometimes parents, I don't know, let's say they're watching their kids play, they're playing with their kids, and they're like, Daddy's mad at Mom, and during their play. So then they're like, they must be seeing that somewhere with their dad and stepmom's house, or could they misread something?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's an opportunity to remain curious.
There we go.
I think that is the biggest piece with it, not to see something and think, oh, that's exactly what it is, because kids are also imaginative. Kids are telling stories. That's how they use their imagination and their creativity, and they're telling stories. And so that could have something to do with it. It could have absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so versus drawing conclusion, let it draw curiosity. Curiosity will get you closer to the conclusiveness of what you're seeing or experiencing.
And the goal here really is connecting with your child.
100%.
Finding, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe it's a game in the car, playing Punch Buggy or I Spy or things like that.
And for those parents that do that, what difference has it made? Have you seen it make? When they do that, 5 minutes in the car, they play, we used to play the alphabet game. Remember that? So the first thing you have to do is find a word where you find an A, right? And then you find a B. I don't know if you can all the way to Z.
Yeah.
Because I remember we used to get stuck on Dairy Queen. We tried to find a Dairy Queen for the cube. But like, you're saying, like, come up with something.
Yeah.
Even if it's in the car ride, if it's at home 5 minutes, what difference does it make when parents do that?
It's spending time with your kiddos. And
that is spending time.
That is spending time with your kiddos. And that is so impactful. In talking to, a lot of the kids that I work with, that is a question that I ask them. Oh, what do you do for fun with Mom or Dad? Or, what do y'all do for fun? Nothing. Oh, well, what do y'all play? How do y'all, well, they're on their phone.
Oh,
and
geez.
it's so, and not to fault parents at all, because it is such a stressful world and situation and everything. But that's something that I hear from the kiddos is
it's a missed opportunity.
They're on their phone. And I know it's you're exhausted. It's been a long day. You're trying to juggle so many priorities. But I'm wondering, instead of, that 5-minute, 10-minute, what may become an hour doom scroll, right? Like sitting down and playing with kiddos.
Well, there was I forget who the famous actor was, but he said something about how he's never heard a parent complain of having too much time with their kid, like when it came to engaging with them. Like, I really wish I wouldn't have played catch so much with my son. I really wish I wouldn't have played golf with him on the weekends, or I really wish I wouldn't have, got on the ground with my kid and played, Polly Pockets. I don't know if those are a thing anymore. My kids have grown up. They actually liked. My kids like Polly Pockets, but they didn't sell them anymore. But like, yeah, like I think that's an interesting point. No one's ever complained about taking the time out of their day to actually play with their children. They've done the opposite. I wish I would have spent more time with my kids. I wish I would have played with them more. I wish I would have played catch with them more. I wish I would have played a video game with them. I don't even like video games, but that's what they were into,
And even if you're in a position to where you feel like your time is limited, you feel like you're only able to see your kiddos for, X amount of time, it's really capitalizing on that time, because that child is going to remember that experience. They're going to remember laughing with you and smiling and telling jokes and getting to be just a kid in this craziness.
So when you work with kids, Arrianna, are you finding that kids remember more of what they did or more of how it made them feel?
I think it's definitely how they feel.
And so when you engage and play with them, you're creating a feeling. I almost wonder if you're sending the message that they're important, their time is important to you.
And I think, should parents, and when parents do play with their kid, that's exactly what it is.
No.
Mom, dad, whomever is spending time with me. They're listening to me. I have them, and their attention is on me.
On me. There was a story I remember of a dad who, I don't know if he ran like a Fortune 500 company, or his status was extremely high, lots of deadlines, but he made a lot of money. And he was working at the house. He was in the home office, and his son was in there, and he was playing, on the floor. Dad's working, kid's playing on the floor. And the kid just out of the blue says, "Dad, how much money do you make?" And Dad's like, "Hey, buddy, I'm busy right now. I'm working." He goes, "Okay." And kid goes out to another room, comes in, and says, "Dad," and brings money out of their piggy bank. Sets it on their desk and says, "Dad, how much time does," almost like, "buy me"? The kid didn't use the word "buy me," but basically, how much time? So basically, I'll pay you, Dad, to play with me, because that's how you give your time to things that make money. The kid put those two connections together. And the reason that I know the story is because the dad told the story. And he said that was the moment he realized that he was putting more time into his work and everything. Not that it's not important, but he was losing time with his child. His child thought time, basically learned that time is money, but the time with the kid was going to be gone, and the money was still going to have to be made or be there.
Yeah.
So he literally created a whole new thing where every day he always played with his kid and skipped work, whatever needed to be done. He'd still meet the deadlines. But what an interesting way to learn that.
Yeah.
That his kid would pay him to spend time with him. And the way he wanted time with his parent was to play with him. And so I think you're hitting an important piece that I think a lot of parents forget. I mean, we have the Dream Park not far from our office, and I look over there and I'll sometimes see the adults playing at the park with their kids, and they have no clue how powerful that is, that they're actually engaged in playing with the child. And that's why I like that park so much, is because adults can play on those things. They can swing, they can go down the slides. They're big enough for the adults to go down. They're sturdy enough. The parents can go down those slides with those kids. And
I'm thinking now, and if you're a parent out there who is juggling finances and deadlines and different priorities and things, when's the last time you got to play? When's the last time you got to take a break?
I'm scared of that answer, Arrianna. Can you imagine they could respond to that? "I haven't played in years." What a good point.
And I was talking to a mom the other day about this, and I had asked her about how she plays with her child, and I got a sense of maybe embarrassment or discomfort of I don't know how to play. Like, what does that mean? How Because we might not. If we're caught up in work and we're caught up in, adulting, what is it to play? And to that parent, if you're listening and if you are feeling stuck, okay, now I've got to play, but I don't know what to do, let your child guide you. Maybe
Oh, wow.
ask them what they want to do. Ask them how they play with their friends. Maybe it's...
What if you just said to your kid, I want to play with you. What do you want to play?
Yeah.
I bet that kid already knows what they want to play. And they probably had an idea of what they want to play with you, too. They probably thought about it before, never thought to ask you.
Yeah.
Because they never knew it was a possibility. Can you imagine a parent listening to this podcast going to their kid today saying, hey, I want to play with you today. What do you want to play? The kid might get caught off guard and be like, what?
Yeah, but I'm curious to know how it goes. Let us know.
Oh, I would love
you do
love that. I might do it at some point. I might go to, my daughter's more into her gymnastics and, but man, if I, what an interesting thing.
And I think in talking about kind of the power of play and everything, I used to work with high schoolers and work with high school seniors.
Did you really?
And these kiddos were very, I'm too cool for school. Not all of them, obviously, but that is the I'm too cool for school. I've got to be careful of what my peers think. There's so much social pressure and anxiety and all of that stuff in that age. And I tell you, Michael, one of my favorite days and one of my favorite memories is we had they had a field day.
Did they?
And those kids were running around, throwing water balloons at each other.
That's fun.
Laughing and slipping and sliding and just out there just playing. And the kid that I had come in with his chest puffed out every day and, hey, miss, and talking like that was laughing like a 4-year-old, like a 5-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the greatest thing to see.
Ariana, I have a question then. Do you think we ever actually escape our childhood, or do you think deep down inside we're just big kids? We're kids with this image of what adulting is, and so we feel like that's what we should do. But deep down inside, we all just want to go play again. We want to go ride go-karts. We want to throw water balloons at each other. We really just want to, have a water gun fight. We want to go swimming and do cannonballs off the edge of the pool. Like, are we really just big kids deep down?
I can see it. I know. I enjoy any opportunity to
let my kid out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because I think when I've worked with adults too, sometimes the thing that has to heal is the child. Isn't there like a whole model on that? Like where it's the inner child that you're working on inside of people, because that's where they're stuck. And it's this idea that if you let your kids re-show you how to be a child, like they can show you almost how to heal too, because you might even heal through the play. I've heard that in play therapy, RPTs, like registered play therapists, that they're actually doing sand tray and play with adults.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Did you know that? That's like a whole thing right now, because they're finding that there's actually a lot of like healing that happens because of the inner child work. And so I would even encourage an adult right now that's out there that's hearing this going, oh my gosh, when they're thinking about play, what that could look like and what that could be like, I'm almost wondering if I would say, if you could find an RPT and ask them, just say, hey, look, I know it's weird, but would you be willing to do play therapy with me? I know I'm an adult, but like, walk me through some sand tray work, walk me through the other types, maybe even coloring, drawing. When's the last time an adult picked up a crayon?
Yeah.
I mean, have you colored with a kid? I'm sure you've been coloring with kids.
Oh yeah, for sure. We use a lot of art in session.
I get super relaxed when I color. I get real relaxed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I almost feel like we're giving parents and adults permission today to go, hey, your inner child wants to play again.
Yeah.
And why don't you let your kids guide you on, like you said, let your kids guide you on what to play or how to do that again.
And let your inner child meet your own child.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And see what comes of that.
So man, it's kind of turned different. It was kind of what we were talking about, connecting with your kid through play. And now we're talking about how you heal in play and how it kind of all comes together.
Yeah. And so, listener, if you are not convinced yet that play can be powerful, let me just give you a few more benefits of it. We talked about connection, we talked about communication, but really play is also an opportunity to learn, right? If we're thinking about it, in play, we learn how to take turns.
Yep.
We learn how to have boundaries with others, right? Like if we're moving our piece, are we going to knock their piece over, or are we going to just move our little piece in one direction if we're playing a board game or what have you? It's an opportunity to problem solve. And it's also an opportunity for emotional regulation, because if I'm losing a game, how should I react? What is the proper way there? How can I play and have fun and maybe lose or maybe win and not throw a massive temper tantrum and the rest of the play date or what have you? And so just wanted to throw those out there as well as additional opportunities in discussing, the power of play.
That's, Arrianna, I'm so glad you did that, because I didn't even think about all those different experiences of how play can help do that, even for a child, and maybe even help an adult do that. But really what we're inviting you in is into a child's world.
Mm-hmm.
And we forget that. We forget how children process. So many times parents will come in expecting their kids to understand things that are really not at the same level because the kid's not really matured psychologically, or however you want to describe it, in that way. But how many times parents come in and be like, oh my gosh, it's like they're a little adult. They just, like, that might not actually be a compliment.
Yeah. It sounds like something is making them feel like or grow up and need to be a little adult at that age.
Yeah. I survive my experiences by growing up fast. And it doesn't allow them to be a kid. Usually firstborns, if they're the firstborn kid, they have siblings. Sometimes those firstborn kids will take on the parental role a lot of times, especially if there's a lot of conflict in the family. The firstborn feels, maybe consciously or subconsciously, that it's their job now and their mission to care for their siblings in the way that their parents couldn't. And it's sad, and they lose their childhood. And I think that's the thing that parents forget in divorce is kids do lose their childhood in divorce. And this is probably why we all want our inner child to come out. It's probably why, like, go-kart riding and balloon fights and it's because we're like relive our kids, our childhood. I wonder if heaven's like that. I wonder if we go to heaven and we're just playing up there. We're all just enjoying each other. We're just like, we're having water balloon fights. We're probably laughing uncontrolled. I think they said the research was that kids laugh. Is it 4 times or is it more than?
I'm not sure, actually.
I have to look that up again.
I'd be curious to
when they measure, that supposedly they measure like laughter, and they said, how often does a child laugh compared to an adult? And they said that children will typically laugh 4 times more than an average adult in a day.
Oh, wow.
And so I just think, man, can you imagine just getting to do that again? Yeah, that's awesome. What a great topic. Anything else you want to share with the listeners, or you feel like they should know when it comes to play and engaging with their kids in that form?
I really think we covered some good points today, and just how powerful play can be. And so, listeners, I leave you with the ask that you find sometime this week just to play with your child. If you're listening and you haven't had, maybe you haven't had children yet, or you're caring for other children, just spend a few minutes to play.
Yep.
See what difference that makes for you.
You know what I think's fun? I'll give something that parents should do. Go find the stuff when you were a kid, like if y'all drank Kool-Aid, or if y'all made like actual homemade lemonade, or made a certain type of mac and cheese, and a bologna sandwich was your snack. Or I think the other day my son, it's so funny, there's this kid on his team, his nickname is Moon Pie. And that's actually, the coach gave him the name. Well, I don't think you really can get moon pies everywhere. They have to like special order them.
Okay.
So he special orders a box of moon pies, and he lets all the kids try them. And they're like, this is disgusting. And the kids are like, but it's an old kid snack, It's so fun to do that. I mean, that's what parents can do too, is they can introduce their children to their childhood by going, this is the way we did mac and cheese, or this is the way we did, grilled cheese or whatever. And you get to relive your childhood a little bit by bringing them into your world also. And let your kids tell you, this is gross, or, oh my gosh, why have you made this, sooner, or something. Go do that stuff with your kids. Go down the aisle at the grocery store if you can. And I know, gosh, prices are so expensive right now, but going down a grocery aisle and just getting all your childhood stuff, like get your Little Debbie cakes. And these are the things I used to eat when I was a kid. Yeah. And like introduce your kid to your world too. But getting into their childhood world. What a phenomenal idea. I don't know, just something fun they can do. Here's a fun childhood thing you can do. Go to a restaurant, order backwards. Order dessert first.
Oh, I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, order backwards. You order dessert first, then your entree, then your appetizer, and just do it backwards. Just something stupid like that. Just be childish again.
Yeah. And I think that goes to show that play can really be anything.
It really can be. And I love it. And I I think some of the greatest connections I think I made with people had a playful spirit. My grandfather was one of them. He was just so fun to be around, but he was always so playful. My grandma would call him a payaso, clown. And because he was always playing. And I think that's the hardest part when he got sick and he couldn't play as much. And there was a video a week before he died where he goes, how do you do it? How do you do it, Lito? How do you do it? And he would do this little dance move, and, but he couldn't really move very well, but he would still try to be his playful self. And everyone loved my grandfather. And it's because deep down, you could just see that he was just a big kid. Yeah. And so what a great encouragement. What a great opportunity to invite them in and give them a task. Your listeners, you have a task now. Go play, right?
And let us know how it goes.
Anything else, Arrianna? Did I miss anything?
That was it.
Thank you for coming on the podcast and playing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Keep moving forward, everyone. We love you. Thanks.